Hello friends, in last lecture we have started standard 10th science and technology part first unit number second, that is classification of elements, मूलद्रव्यांचे वर्गीकरण. So in this lesson we have see different classification methods for the classification of elements. In last we have seen first classification method, which was given by Dobereiner's. Scientist name is Dobereiner's, which that method is known as the Dobereiner's triad. See, Dobereiner, he arranged three elements. He arranged three elements having same chemical properties in a single group. So group of three elements having similar chemical properties, which is known as a triad. त्यालाच काय नाव दिलं त्यांनी? Triad. And after arrangement of these elements, he found that every middle element, every middle element having a atomic mass which is equal to the arithmetic mean of these two elements. See, example we have seen in last, that is lithium, sodium and potassium. So this is a group of three elements which obey the law of Dobereiner. What law says? That is, the middle element, atomic mass of middle element is equal to the arithmetic mean of these remaining two elements. So here lithium, sodium and potassium, in which atomic mass of lithium and potassium, if we can calculate the mean of these two elements, then that mean comes 23, which is the atomic mass of sodium. Hence this is a Dobereiner's triad, because these group obey the law of Dobereiner's. So in this way different triads are there, we have seen in last, but there are some drawback of this Dobereiner triad. So which are the drawbacks? First drawback is he could not classify all the known elements into triads. See, he could not classify known elements. He could not classify all the known elements into triad. In 1817, that is, in this period, all elements that are known, all known elements could not be classified by the Dobereiner into triad. So त्यावेळेला जेवढे एलिमेंट्स आपणास माहित होते, तर त्या सर्व एलिमेंट्सचं क्लासिफिकेशन Dobereiner हा करू शकलेला नाही. So this is the first drawback of Dobereiner's triad. Now second, some of the triad does not follow the law of Dobereiner. So some triads are not follow the law of Dobereiner. See example, copper, silver and gold. Here are their atomic masses. Copper with atomic mass 63.5, silver having atomic mass 108, gold having atomic mass 197. If you find the mean of these two elements, it comes 130.25. That is, this mean is not equal to the mass of the middle element, that is silver, because mass of atomic mass of silver is 108 and mean is 130.25. That is, there is a big difference. So this trial, that is copper, silver and gold, this trial does not follow the Dobereiner's law. So it is not a trial. Similarly, another example, zinc, cadmium and mercury. If you find their atomic mass, then it also does not follow the law of Dobereiner trial. So this is a drawback of this Dobereiner's trial. So first one is, which are the drawbacks of Dobereiner trials? That is, all the non-known elements could not be classified into tribes. This is the first demerit or drawback of this Dobereiner trial. All the known elements could not be classified into Dobereiner's trial. And second is, some of the trials like this, some of the trials did not follow the law of Dobereiner. So these are the drawbacks of Dobereiner trial. In this way, we have completed this classification method of Dobereiner's trial. In exam, there is a question that is, illustrate the Dobereiner's trials with example. Then you have to give what is the Dobereiner's trial, its law and example. Now next classification method, which was given by Newland, which is known as a Newland's law of octave. See, second method, Newland's law of octaves. See the word octaves. न्यूलँडचे अष्टकाचे नियम. This octave denotes the number 8. In previous Dobereiner trial, it denotes the number 3. Similarly here, Newland's law of octaves which indicate the number 8. Now, what is this theory? We will learn here. The English scientist, that is John Newland. So this scientist, John Newland, correlated the atomic masses of elements to their properties in different way. See here, Newland, he correlated. What he correlated? He correlated atomic mass of elements, that is अणूंचे वस्तुमान and their properties आणि त्यांचे गुणधर्म यांच्यामधलं एक कोरिलेशन त्यांनी सर्च केलेलं आहे. New correlation is there. Then in year 1866, Newland arranged the elements known at that time in an increasing order of their atomic mass. म्हणजे 1866 मध्ये न्यूलँडने त्यावेळेस जेवढे नोन एलिमेंट्स होते ते सर्व त्याने he arranged them in an increasing order of their atomic mass. म्हणजे अणुवस्तुमानाच्या चढत्या क्रमाने त्याने त्या सर्व एलिमेंट्सची मांडणी केलेली आहे. He started with the lightest element hydrogen. आणि ती मांडणी करताना सगळ्यात पहिले lightest element, that is hydrogen. So he had started from hydrogen to the ended with thorium. He started with hydrogen and ended with thorium. In this way he arranged total 56 elements in increasing order of their atomic mass. So he started with the lightest element hydrogen and ended with the thorium. After this arrangement, with their increasing order of atomic mass. Newland, he found, what he found? He found that every eighth element have properties similar to the first. See, this is important. What he found that every eighth element, म्हणजे प्रत्येक आठवा जो काही मूलद्रव्य असेल, had properties similar to those of the first. प्रत्येक आठव्या इलेमेंटच्या ज्या प्रॉपर्टीज आहेत त्या फर्स्ट इलेमेंटशी कशा आहे, सिमिलर आहे. So this is the main point of this octave or law of octave. Newland compared this similarity with the octave in music. So this similarity, that is every 8 element having same property with those of the first. म्हणजे प्रत्येक आठव्या इलेमेंटचे जे प्रॉपर्टीज आहेत त्या पहिल्या इलेमेंट सोबत कशा आहे, सिमिलर आहे. अँड ही कंपेअर दिस सिमिलरिटी विथ द ऑक्टेव इन म्युझिक. मग त्याने याची कंपॅरिझन कशा सोबत केलेली आहे, तर ऑक्टेव्ज इन म्युझिक, म्हणजे संगीतातील जे काही अष्टक आहे ऑक्टेव्ज, तर त्याच्याशी त्यांनी कंपॅरिझन केलेली आहे. ही कॉल्ड द सिमिलरिटी observed in the eighth and the first element as the law of octave. See here, what is say? What law says? Similarities observed in the eighth element and the first element as the law of octave. म्हणजे प्रत्येक आठव्या इलेमेंटचे आणि फर्स्ट इलेमेंटच्या ज्या काही प्रॉपर्टीज आहेत त्या कशा आहेत, सेम आहे किंवा सिमिलर आहे, आणि यालाच काय म्हटलेलं आहे, लॉज ऑफ ऑक्टेव. आपण एक्झाम्पलच्या माध्यमातून बघूया. सो न्यूलँड ही अरेंज these elements in a table having 7 rows and 8 columns, that is 56 elements. So Newland arranged the 56 element in a tabular form with 56 boxes. See here, in each box there is a element. So in 56 box he arranged all known elements, that is 56 elements are arranged by increasing order of their atomic masses. Then what the law say, every 8 element having similar property with the first element. Now here he arranged the elements in this way in tabular format having row and column. He started with the hydrogen. See here is a lithium, and from the lithium you have to count the 8th element, that is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Which element comes here? Sodium. That is sodium had a similar property. Sodium has a similar property as the properties of lithium, that is both lithium and sodium having a same properties. Similarly, from fluorine you count the 8th element. See here, elements in a single row there are 7 elements, and after that 8th element is given. So after fluorine you have to count 8 element, that is chlorine. So fluorine and chlorine both have a similar properties. Similarly, another example, sodium and potassium. So 8th element, that is potassium, has a similar property to sodium, that is both having a similar properties. Similarly here, boron, aluminium, both having same property, that is first element and the 8th element having similar properties. So this law was, this law is called as a law of octave. Another thing is, he compared this similarity with the octave in music. म्हणजे संगीतातले जे 7 स्वर आहेत त्याच्याशी त्यांनी कंपॅरिझन केलेले आहे. See here, musical notes are given, that is Indian musical notes sa, re, ga, ma, pa, dha, ni. See, so there are 7 notes are there. After completing this saptak, that यानी after completing ni, there is again come sa note comes, that is first note is repeated after the completion of saptak, that is 8th note is also repeated, that is sa. So he compared law of octave with the musical note. Here western musical notes are also given. That notes are do, re, mi, fa, sol, la and ti. After this 7th note, again do, this note is repeated with double frequency as compared to the first note. So here repetition of the note after the 7th note, that is first note and 8th note, have similar properties. In the same way, here first element and 8th element having a similar properties. So this is the law of octave. Now next point we will see here, that is Newland's octave. In this Newland's law of octave, there are many limitations. We will see what are the limitations found in the Newland octave. So next point is limitations of Newland octave. So limitations or drawback, limitations of Newland octave. Newland's octave. So what are the limitations of Newland's octave, or what are the demerits of the Newland's octave? We will see here. So we have seen Newland's law of octaves, in which he found that every 8th element had properties similar to the first. We have seen different examples also. That is, from lithium, 8th element is sodium. Therefore, properties of lithium and sodium are similar. Same way we have seen fluorine, chlorine, or magnesium, calcium. Different examples we have seen that follow the law of octave. But there are some limitations in the law of octave. So next point is limitation. So limitations of this law of octave. So there are many limitations were found in Newland's octave. So one by one we have seen what are the limitations in the law of octave. So the first limitation, it is applicable, this law or law of octave, it is applicable only up to calcium, out of this 56 element. This law is applicable only up to a calcium element, that is from the calcium these remaining elements does not follow the law of octave. So this is the first limitation, that this law of octave is applicable only up to calcium element. So only up to calcium element this law is followed by elements. Now second limitation. Now second limitation, that is Newland placed two elements each in same box. See here, Newland placed two elements each in same boxes to accommodate all the known elements. See here, all elements are placed in a table having row and column. Therefore, there is a formation of 56 boxes. You will see here some elements, that is cobalt and nickel, as well as there are two elements, that is, see here, Ce and La. Ce and La. It means, what is their meaning? Ce, it means cerium, and La, it means lanthanum. So these two elements are placed in a single box. So some elements are placed in a same box to accommodate all the known elements. So this is also a drawback. Now next, that is third limitation, is that he placed some elements with different properties. He placed some elements with different properties under same note. See here, this is the first group or first note having name Sa. So in this note there are hydrogen, fluorine, chlorine, bromine and cobalt and nickel. So in this first note he placed some elements with different properties. See here, all these elements, that is fluorine, chlorine, bromine, they are halogens, and cobalt and nickel, these elements are metals. So cobalt and nickel, it shows different properties than these remaining halogens. So this is a drawback, that the place of cobalt and nickel is misplaced here, because with halogen this cobalt and nickel are placed in a same note, that is under a Sa note. Similarly, you will see here at the seventh note, that is Ni. In this note there is a iron. So this element and cobalt and nickel, these elements, they show similar properties, but this iron placed far away from the cobalt and nickel. Also iron, it is a metal, and this metal element is placed with non-metals like oxygen, sulfur. Newland's limitation. See this table. Newland's octaves did not have a provision to accommodate newly discovered elements. That is, there is no provision for the newly discovered elements. म्हणजे जे नवीन शोध लागलेले जे एलिमेंट्स आहे त्यांच्यासाठी यांनी काही प्रोव्हिजन केलेली नाही. So these are the limitations of Newland's law of octave.